Fan out of the
BAM! Welcome to another episode of Mike Sports. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by my co-host, Landry. Landry, how are you tonight?
I'm feeling a little relieved. My team is out of it, which is probably the opposite of what most people would think of.
Yeah, I gotta say, relieved, not what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But still, for me anyway, when I looked at the Eagles, and we can get to this first, I certainly you can't be disappointed. Yeah, you might think, oh man, wish we'd shown up and played a little better, particularly, in the first half. But look, you're going against the greatest quarterback of all time. You were going against the defending Super Bowl champions. Look, if you expected the Eagles to win, I don't understand you. But I was saying the whole week, whenever anybody asked me, I said, hey, we got a puncher's chance. And, I still walk away feeling like if they had taken their opportunities, if they had played smart football, they had a puncher's chance.
Well,
they just didn't do it.
There's obviously two games that we're talking about. We're talking about both of our games in some capacity. And the Eagles got beat worse than I thought. They showed back up at the end, which is how I thought they would play a majority of the game.
Right.
I didn't think, the Eagles were going to beat the Bucs, obviously, in my picks from last week.
Sure.
I didn't think it was going to be very close, but I didn't think it'd be a blowout either.
Mm-hmm.
So the Eagles, the way they played in the end, is why I didn't think it'd be a blowout. It ended up being a blowout because they didn't show up till the fourth quarter. And I know exactly how that goes because my team seems to do the same thing. So, I feel like I literally watched two teams do the same thing. And
it's just the Cowboys have more talent and were able to, really come close to winning it. Whereas the Eagles they're not watching Tampa. There were several times, in fact, watching the other playoff games, there were several times where I just thought the Eagles don't have anybody on their roster that can do that.
Yeah.
Whether it be the kind of throw that was made. But I also don't want it to come across that I'm going to sit here and criticize Jalen Hurts because I think Jalen Hurts had a great year, and I think he's earned 17 more starts. He's earned next year.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. I don't have any knocks on Jalen Hurts, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Your defense looks good. Your offense looks sluggish at times. And then, of course, in the end, they turn on some afterburners, and all of a sudden their offense was there, which tells you right there that they obviously have talent seeping underneath. Execution against one of the better teams in the league had a lot to do with why they couldn't show it early on, probably.
Oh, sure.
And look, to me, the Eagles
having
were lucky
three
to be
wasted
there.
Receiver spots on your roster makes it tough, too.
Yeah, given how the Eagles season went, they were lucky to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
So the fact, that's why I'm with you when you say, you can't really be disappointed. You didn't even think they were going to be there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't think they were going to be there.
Yeah.
All week, all I said was, man, we get an extra week of Eagles football. Hell yeah. Sign me up. Let's go.
Yeah. And on my end, there was a lot of disappointment because I thought we were definitely the more talented team, but I didn't think we played the better game for sure.
No, and look, I bet San Francisco on my DraftKings app. Mm-hmm. But I bet the spread. I thought San Francisco would cover the 3.5. I thought it was going to be a really good game, but I thought Dallas would win. I watched it all week. It was at 3 all week. On Saturday afternoon, I looked and saw it was gotten up to 3.5, and I thought, the hook. I have to take it.
Yeah.
Because I thought this game was going to end a 3-point game. And of course, so I was watching the last minute or so completely relaxed because I know, hey, if Dallas scores a touchdown, kicks the extra point, they win by 1. I still win my bet. Mm-hmm. If they don't get in there and don't win, I win my bet.
Still cover. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is fantastic. That's the best way to watch a game.
And I have obviously my Dallas friends are losing their shit over this referee.
Sure.
thing and whatnot. My take is the whole referee thing. It was just a timing and circumstance style thing. A lot of people are saying, Dak should have never ran it. I actually think it was the right play. I think the execution of it was horrible because
he should have slid
about 2 yards sooner.
He had to get down. Yeah,
he should have slid about 2 yards sooner, and they would have had that, and then it would come down to one throw. Which at that point, Cowboys were averaging 16 yards per throw, so they had a good chance of maybe throwing it 5 extra yards and making a touchdown out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have given themselves probably, I think, a 25% chance. I'm not going to say a 50% chance. I think they would have had a 25% chance of getting that touchdown.
Whereas opposed to where they were at, throwing it
no way. Yeah, there's no way. I'd give them 5% at most where they were at. So it was the right play. The way it worked out, obviously, from a timing aspect, ruined it.
Yeah, I think if there had been
the ref told him, they're going to review him and likely put time back on the clock. So he was under that impression, and then the ref came back and said game over. That's where I think that's where Mike McCarthy and Dak became upset with the game and the refs and why bottles and beer bottles and shit was thrown at them on the way out of the Dallas Stadium. If you've seen the video, throwing trash and stuff. I don't think it was the refs' fault. I think I said this before. I said it when the Saints and the Titans played. If your team has to come down to one play.
Or you mean
that far away from the end zone? Right. You're not like on the 1 yard line where you got to punch it in. It's that one play. When you're in that desperation mode, stop blaming other people. You blew the game. You shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. You had more talent. You screwed it up. You're going home deservingly, in my opinion, the Dallas Cowboys. You didn't play the better game that you could have played. You clearly were a more talented team. But when I watched the tape, the defensive line, the offensive line kicked your ass all over that field. You got beat in the trenches, and it was a domino effect on the rest of the team for the rest of the game. They looked more hungry to win that game to me, the 49ers, physically in the trenches. I didn't pay attention to the corners. I didn't pay attention to linebackers. I didn't pay attention to the running back. Samuel made some good plays. I paid attention to what the offensive and the defensive line were doing for the 49ers, and they physically kicked the hell out of the Dallas Cowboys in that game. And that's why, to me, the game was lost.
I think that was a matter of want to. Like San Francisco
seemed hungry.
San
Francisco looked hungry. Dallas looked content. And usual, what did I say? When the pressure's on and their back gets put against the wall, all of a sudden here comes that offense that we know they have.
I was thinking of you as that stuff was happening, as the game was going on.
Man, you're so freaking predictable. It's unbelievable. You have to be put against a wall to start scoring touchdowns.
Yeah. I think they need to let the Dallas Cowboys in the stadium. They need to light up the other team's scoreboard up like 14-0 just to start the game. To at least tell the Cowboys that they're down 14.
If you're going to build a $3 billion stadium, why the hell did you beat it east? Why did you build it east and west, windows of sun? Why didn't you build it north and south? That's like pissed me off since the beginning of time.
$3 billion.
Did you see that one catch where the guy goes like this and it's just pure sun and he can't even see the ball?
Yeah. No, I saw that. Yeah.
I've never put some tint on the windows, for God's sakes. Put some freaking string blinds. Just put a giant string blind on that sucker. I've never.
Right by the owner, it comes down to the owner's box, and the owner can like grab it, pull the shades.
Yeah.
And so when then the other team's on offense,
the Cowboys suffered that. I've said this is a problem. I don't understand why they don't address it with some tint or something.
I think what it is just in the old Cowboys stadium. To me, there was something iconic about, like, you saw in a game, you'd see that glare off a player's helmet. And to me, that just told me we're in Texas Stadium. Yeah. And I feel like he wanted that same field in the new stadium.
Right. Yeah. Look, I mean, I totally get that. My deal is, at the end of the day, it came down to linemen, and the 49ers looked more hungry. And that's, to me, what dictated that game. Dak played okay. By the standards of how hungry the 49ers were coming at him. People were like, oh, he held on to it.
That one interception, I still think that was just a matter of San Francisco went up and fought for the ball. I think he made the right read and made the right throw. It's just a shame the 49er jumped the route.
Look, a lot of people were pissed about the ref and whatnot. I walked out of the game, as I usually do when the Cowboys do this. You deserve to go home. That's the way I looked at that. You deserve to go home. You didn't play. You had more talent. And you didn't put it on the field. Your best guys did not show up.
Now, I have a question for you.
CeeDee Lamb, one catch, 24 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 21 yards. Come on, man. Cooper's the only guy. Dak and Cooper were the only people who showed up, and Parsons. And that was it. Everybody else was just
Yeah, I was going
floating
to say
around the
Mika
field.
Parsons was still a beast.
And Van Der Esch to some degree, but everybody else got their ass kicked, in my opinion. Diggs, you got smoked. Defensive line, you got smoked. Offensive line, you got smoked. Zeke, you got smoked. CeeDee Lamb, you couldn't get open. It was a crap game.
Yeah, look, I don't blame you. I think if I were in your shoes, I would feel the same way. And I would criticize the Eagles just much. To me, it's like the Eagles were playing with house money. The Cowboys, like, they were expected to be there. Like, this was a team that at the beginning of the year, like, I looked at and thought, look, this is one of the 3 best teams in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
And, the other 2, Tampa and Green Bay, they're still playing. And the team I thought was, right there, like neck and neck with the 2 of them, they got sent home. And the Rams are the other one. So, like, I really thought this weekend was going to be those 4 teams representing the NFC. And, of course, remember, last week I told you the fly in the ointment, the team that could disrupt that great NFC Final Four was the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep. Look, and I got my –
and, hey, they're your dark horse pick.
Yeah, they are. And the dark horse picked or beat my team. So, that made me feel even better about my pick at the beginning of the year that no one sees the 49ers coming.
Yeah. Now, go ahead. You go.
What do we have? We got 8 teams left, right? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, we got 8 teams left. And out of them, the one that surprised me the most was the Buffalo Bills' dominance.
Yeah, I thought the Bills would win. I did not think they would win as handily as
I didn't think they would stomp their competition. All right, let's go through are you going to ask a question or do you want to go through the games?
Yeah, my question to you was about the San Francisco 49ers. And Jimmy Garoppolo has basically been open with the fact that each game he's thinking this could be his last game as a Niner.
Yeah.
Do you think San Francisco moves on from Jimmy Garoppolo this offseason?
I don't think they should. I think there's I don't get the whole Garoppolo thing. I really don't. This dude put you in a Super Bowl, almost won a Super Bowl.
And didn't trust they didn't trust to let him have the ball in the end of the first half with a chance to go down and get some points. And I always thought that was a mistake.
Yeah. I don't see the evidence that Jimmy Garoppolo isn't your quarterback. I don't see it. I see the total opposite. This dude performs in big games. He comes from a pedigree coaching and development system. He's been in a Super Bowl, and he just beat a very talented Cowboys team. Even if he loses in the next round, I'm like, this dude has shown you he can play the big games. What is it? You know what it is to me? He's not mobile. He's not running around. And to some people, that makes him look like this stale, old-style quarterback.
To me, I like that quarterback. That's the great distributor. Look, I mean – I've asked the question around here, and I've gotten some mixed answers. And I'm just asking the question because I told you at the beginning of the show, I think Jalen Hurts has earned 17 more starts. If you were the Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers called you about whether or not you'd be interested in Jimmy Garoppolo, do you take that phone call?
The Cowboys?
No. If you're the Eagles.
Oh, you mean if somebody calls you and says, "Do you want Garoppolo?"
Yes.
No, I don't think Garoppolo would fit in Philadelphia. I think you guys have really enjoyed having some mobileness. I think it's really stretched the field for you guys and it's really bought you time during plays. You have the old conundrum of Dak Prescott versus Tony Romo going on. The mobile, more athletic quarterback versus the sharpshooter. Romo would be the Garoppolo, Dak being the Jalen Hurts.
Sure.
You got the same scenario we went through, and in the end, we chose mobile, and it seems to have worked out for the better overall.
Well, I think that was just more of the injuries chose the mobile quarterback, and that's what caused, Tony Romo. Like, he got injured, and they decided to move on, and then Tony Romo decided to retire from the game.
Yeah.
And, so, I mean, it's a little different in that sense. But to me, it's always funny. I've never quite understood the fascination with the running quarterback. Because to me, I always think your quarterback's more effective if he's throwing the football.
Yeah.
That's the idea of what you want your quarterback to do. Now, I like having that tool in the tool chest. I like knowing that, hey, in a pinch, you know what? Nobody's open. I need to take off and run. And Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not a stationary target back there, but Like, he's not Drew Bledsoe, but he's also not Jalen Hurts. He's also not a Dak Prescott.
Garoppolo actually reminds me a little bit of the way Troy Aikman played football as a quarterback.
Okay.
Troy Aikman wasn't super mobile, but he could move. Troy Aikman could take a hit, obviously, other than LeVar Arrington. But
not many people could take hits from LeVar Arrington.
Troy had enough elusiveness to where he could still get the ball downfield, and he was still strong enough to take a hit and bounce off it and throw the ball.
Yeah, and it seemed like he was smart enough to get his body in the right position to avoid the big hit most of the time.
Yeah, the only time Troy Aikman looked like he couldn't be mobile is in his first years and his last years, and both of those are when his offensive line had crumbled and was gone. So,
good offensive line makes up for a lot of things. And,
I think it's the underrated, well, not underrated because it is rated pretty high, but it's the under talked about scenario of a football team.
And I think it's the underappreciated by, the masses.
Salary wise, they get paid pretty dang well if you're good. You just don't hear a lot of media about them because they're not flash in the pan.
You're right.
They're in the dirt. And it's hard to see when they're doing really good unless you know the mechanics of football. As an average fan, the linemen just look like they're just running into each other every play. So you really can't tell where the talent is in them.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I think that's like that. There's
no because they do their best work without the football in their hands.
There's no flash with linemen.
Right.
So, we want – and that brings me to my point I was trying to make is I think that's why people are obsessed with more of the mobile quarterbacks. It's the look of flash and dash and stretching the play, almost going down, but making some last-minute throw while running to the sideline. I think that makes fans excited about a football team.
Yeah. I mean, you might be onto something there because, look, for the most of the quarterbacks, no matter how good they are and how much people may have loved them, once the ball is out of their hands, like once they throw it, you weren't paying attention to them anymore.
Yeah.
And so then you're paying attention to, is the receiver going to catch it? Is what's he going to do after he catches it? And, so that becomes more the focal point. Whereas if the quarterback has the ball, like a quarterback like a Michael Vick, like a Jalen Hurts, like those mobile quarterbacks, you're not waiting to see, okay, when's he going to throw it so I can see that cannon arm and I can see somebody else make a play. It's what's this guy going to do with the football?
Yeah, totally.
And so, okay, let's get into the matchups because we're going to have a whole off season to dissect, running quarterback versus pocket passer and get into all the college draftees that are going to be coming available. And that's going to be fun. I can't wait to do our, all the draft specials, off-season roundtables. That's going to be a lot of fun on here.
Especially with some of the quarterbacks who are going to be available and contract and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson.
Interesting year. What if they traded spots? What if Rodgers went to Tampa and Tom goes
Brady went to Tampa?
Wouldn't that be the weirdest freaking thing?
That would be the weirdest thing. It's like, hey, I beat you with mine. Now I'll go to yours, and you can have mine, and I'll beat mine with yours.
Yeah, that'd be so weird because it seemed like, wait, am I living in a different universe? Does the NFL have the word Marvel under it? Because what the hell is happening here? Yeah. All right, let's do the games.
Okay, so first game up on the docket is Saturday 4:30, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans, which I will say I have not seen a number one seed as basically disrespected as the Tennessee Titans have been. Not since the Philadelphia Eagles of 2017, and we all know how that worked out.
Honestly, the reason I think that is as much as like Mike Grable, people see him as an inferior coach compared to the rest of the coaches of the other teams.
Yeah, I think it's about Ryan Tannehill. I think people just don't believe in Ryan Tannehill.
True. Okay. Coach quarterback scenario, both of them.
Yeah, well, really coach quarterback. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's why I don't get the respect. In this game, I am going to go with the Titans. Okay. I do think it'll be a tight game. I also think these two teams carry the least leverage going into the rest of the teams. I think the rest of the teams are better than both of these teams. So I kind of see like this as almost a moot point who wins. Because I honestly don't see either team winning their next round.
Agreed.
But I'm going to go with the Titans.
I do agree with you. I think this is, whoever wins here, I still think they're out. next round.
Yeah. But I think this is what's good about this. These two teams are a good matchup for each other. I do want to see,
and I think it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah. This is either right. I feel like if these two teams were playing any of the other teams, we could look at like a 14 to 17 point difference in the game.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this makes it a good matchup.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is going to be a fun matchup. I think Tennessee will win just because I think it's going to be kind of like the San Francisco Dallas. Like, even though I think the better quarterback is Joe Burrow. Remember, that was the theme last week. We just kept picking the better quarterback, and we actually did really good wild card weekend doing that.
Yeah.
I certainly like this is that game that I feel like is that fly in the ointment game. Like that, even though I think anyway, Joe Burrow is the better quarterback from Ryan Tannehill. I just think complete 53-man roster, Tennessee Titans have an advantage. One, the experience advantage. Remember, it was a couple of years ago that, excuse me, everybody, that as an underdog, the Titans went on a nice little run, first beating the New England Patriots, and then, who did they beat in the next round? I don't even remember now.
I don't recall.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, and then losing to the Kansas City Chiefs it was the Ravens. That's right.
Oh yeah, it was Ravens. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh and man, can't believe you remember that. Nice.
I know that just randomly popped into my head.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I don't have a clue. I could not picture that game.
Yeah, I just remember because it was another Lamar Jackson disappointment.
Yeah.
But then before losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship, although they had Kansas City on the ropes, and probably should have put them away and won that game and gone to the Super Bowl.
True.
So I think the experience of Tennessee and Ryan Tannehill, I think that's just going to be the slight edge. And if Derrick Henry's playing,
I think the Bengals won't win simply because they have players that are going out, naked in front of, other people and getting tased and arrested and thrown on the ground. So I think when Bengal players do those type of things, they're not going to. You just can't get past the playoff game.
Look, that just sounds like a typical Wednesday night to me. I don't know.
Yeah. For those who didn't see the news,
I had not seen that.
Yeah, one of the let me make sure I was a Bengals player. I'm pretty sure.
I'm really hoping now that it was because
Bengals player naked. Let me see. Let's see.
But yeah, if Derrick Henry is playing, and I think he will, but I think Tennessee wins.
For those who don't know, it's let me see what player it is. An NFL player is charged with beating a sheriff in a violent attack, left a deputy beat up. This dude's 6'3", whatever. Oh, I'm sorry, he's a Browns player. It's a defensive tackle, Malik McDowell.
Oh boy.
He was naked, walked up to a school of kids, and then the sheriff's department arrived to basically arrest him. And he attacked one of the sheriffs who he clearly outsized.
Sure.
Being 6'3", 260 or 70 pounds, beat the crap out of the sheriff. And then, of course, a bunch of other ones showed up, tackled him. Good old mark for the NFL. So maybe the Bengals do have a chance since I wasn't a Bengals player. But I'm still going Titans. They're both orange. And they're both
in Ohio.
Yeah, they're both from out there. I'm like, what do I know these days?
Yeah, but you're down there in Texas. It's like, exactly. Cleveland, Cincinnati, meh. They're like, what?
Who's our next team?
Okay, so next up, Saturday night, Green Bay and San Francisco. Look, San Francisco's kind of had Green Bay's number.
Right.
But I just think Aaron Rodgers, God mode.
Not in Lambeau. Now, and Green Bay isn't one of those teams that after having a week off look worse. You saw them when they came back from their bye this year, and they looked fine. They're not like a Cowboys mentality or whatnot. They didn't come out rocking people when they came back from their bye, obviously. But they didn't look stale, like out of rhythm, out of momentum. They looked like they got right back in their saddle.
Yeah. And like I said, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers is in God mode right now. And I think that he's on a mission. And I think this is his year. I think Green Bay's going all the way and winning it all.
Here we go. In games immediately following a bye week, Green Bay has won 16 of its last 25 games with a 0.64 average, including wins in 7 of its last 12 games since 2009. So they have a pretty good record coming off rest.
That is a good tidbit of information.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm so big in that, because of what my Cowboys do when they come back off of buys. So I always like to see what other teams are in comparison and see, am I crazy? Why does my team seem so rusty and out of sync? And are other teams like that? So I'm always interested in the record of another team, especially one in Lambeau Field, in cold weather, in the playoffs with a great quarterback. I can't see the 49ers beating that.
Yeah, and that's got me like anybody who's interested what my betting ways are going to be this weekend. You know, I usually don't give out a lot of my bets, but I'm going to give out this one. I am betting, obviously, Green Bay. I am betting their team total to go over, and I'm betting a Devontae Adams touchdown.
I got Green Bay by 14 to 17 points in this game come fourth quarter. I think once Green Bay turns it on in Lambeau in that fourth quarter, I think they're going to run with it. I think it's going to look like a head-bashing game for a little while with Green Bay having the lead but not running away. I think in the fourth, as the morale of the 49ers looks a little dashed, I think Rodgers puts a couple more darts in them, finishes them off, and that's the end of that game.
Yeah, I might even look for like the first half line because I feel like Green Bay, like you said, I think they'll, that could be a little lower. So if that first half line is favorable, I might even look at that as a good play for Saturday night.
True. All right, we got next.
Okay, Sunday. I don't know the order of the games.
You want me to bring up here? I got the schedule.
Yeah, you got the schedule handy. I was going to go look on my phone, but
I just
knew that those were Saturdays.
All right, Saturday we got Cincinnati Bengals at 4:30.
Yeah, we already covered that game.
The Bengals got that one. Then we got San Francisco 49ers at 8:15 p.m.
Yeah, we just talked about that one.
Okay, that'll be on Fox. And then Sunday at 3 p.m. we got the Arizona Cardinals and Los Angeles Rams.
No, the Rams just beat the Cardinals. It's the Rams versus the Bucks.
I'm sorry. There we go.
Yeah.
It said Tampa Bay Bucks. I don't know why I said that. That's so weird. Maybe I want to see them get slashed again.
I know. You want to see that beat down again. Which, by the way, betting that Rams Cardinals game, I almost felt guilty, like seeing that money show up in my account.
Yeah, considering how much you love the Cardinals. So
and how much I love me some LA Rams and Matt Stafford.
Now, here's my deal. The Bucs look different, and I'm guessing because the Antonio Brown lacking. Their defense looks like it's speeding up. Their defense looks like it's starting to come into its own now. Their offense looks somewhere in the middle to me. Tom Brady's pretty good at shaping up his teams during the playoffs. I'm going to take the Bucs still in Tampa Bay, and I'm going to take them by 10.
See, I love this because we're going to get to go against each other some. I'm going to go, look, Matt Stafford, he's got to avoid the picks, and he's had a propensity to turn the ball over in the last month or so. I think he gets that corrected. And I think it's the only, Tampa doesn't have a lot of the offensive weapons. I think this is the game where they feel that. The Eagles' defense just isn't the Rams' defense. Again, it was another point where, I was watching, some of the guys on the Rams D, and now look, Fletcher Cox is really good. Aaron Donald is I just said that Aaron Rodgers was in God mode. I think Aaron Donald might also be in God mode.
He is, but the reason that doesn't make me think that he's a game changer, I look at what TJ Watt did with the Steelers. He was a wrecking ball in that game, but still that one wrecking ball wasn't enough to pull out a win.
Funny, it was almost like when TJ Watt got that touchdown, that was exactly what Kansas City needed. It was we in a fight now.
And it was against the offense, not the other way around, not against the defense. So it made the offense go, time to put our money up and put Ben to sleep. Now, I was mad. I thought it was BS that the Kansas City didn't relax a little bit and let Ben. That guy got to the 1 yard line. Kansas City should have just let him in the end zone for Ben's last TD. For the last throw of the game, would have been the last TD of his career. I wanted to see some sportsmanship of let him have it. Kind of like when Brett Favre fell down and let Reggie White have his White have his sack record. I wanted to see I wanted to see a little coaching from Andy Reid saying, let him get that last touchdown. It's not going to hurt us. It's not going to ding us. We're still dominating this game. Doesn't matter. I thought that was a Bush league. But in this game, yeah, I'm going to go Tampa Bay. Who's your pick? What's your score?
I'm taking the Rams.
By what?
And I've been going back and forth. I think I'll say the Rams by a touch. Rams
okay.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the rematch.
Bills Chiefs at
6:30 on CBS, the night game to end the week. But it'll be in Kansas City this year. Wasn't it in Buffalo last year?
No, it was in Kansas City
last year. Oh, that's right, because Kansas City was just as good as last year.
Yeah.
I got to hear. I'm going to let you go first on this one because you're the big Bill driver. I got to hear what your thoughts are on this crap.
You know, I have been the Bills proponent. And if you asked me this game 100 times, I might give you 100 different answers. Because I've been so back and forth on this. But you know what? It's Wednesday night. It's decision night. It's time for me to put my cards on the table. And for those of you, who watch my other podcast, well, one of my other podcasts, the TLC podcast about wrestling, you'll know there was a great turn once upon a time where Shawn Michaels put Marty Jannetty through a glass window in Bruce Beefcake's barbershop interview set. And guys, Bills Nation, Bills Mafia, stand up. It's time for the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels to put you, Marty Jannetty, through the glass window. I'm going Kansas City.
I'm really torn on this game.
I know.
I think I see the heart of the Bills able to pull this game off and create an upset. The logic is with Kansas City, and
I just think it's a mental thing.
This is like dating, right? My brain's like, dude, don't date this girl. But my heart's like, but I'm in love with her. But my brain's like, dude, this chick's crazy. You're going to end up in a coffin or broke, one or the other.
I have been there, my friend.
I'm torn on this game, but I'm going to bring it down to the quarterback play right now. What I'm seeing in Mahomes looks like he's playing it. I will be wishing for a Bills upset, though, in this game.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
But if someone said you have to put money on it, I'm going Kansas City. This is the only game I'm torn on. All the other games I feel pretty confident about. This game, I feel like it's like if someone said you can see the first quarter of how the Bills play, and then you can make a bet. I was like, okay, I'm good with that. I just want to see what Bills show up in this game.
You can do that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see what Bills show up in this game. I'm talking for the sake of this video of our show
I will
right now.
say, if the Bills get up on them early, I think they will stomp them into the dirt. They will leave nothing to chance. Like, they will not let their foot off the gas. Like, if they get up on them, like, if this is a case where Kansas City starts slow, like, Kansas City can't do that start slow stuff and just kick it on in the second half, because I think, like, Josh Allen, like, when he gets that momentum going, like, that offense just
Wouldn't it be weird, though, if, like, all we had left after this was the Bills and the Titans, and then Green Bay and the Bucks, or Green Bay and LA in your estimation?
Right.
It would feel like, okay, Green Bay, to me, Green Bay is going to beat the Bills or the Titans. I think Green Bay versus, I call the State Farm Bowl, as I call it.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people have been thinking, and
I feel like the Chiefs are the only team that could beat Green Bay. I feel like although the Bills could beat Kansas City, I don't think they could beat Green Bay, but I think Kansas City could beat Green Bay. As weird as that sounds.
No, it makes perfect sense. It's just, it's matchups.
Yeah. So logically in this game, my money is on Kansas City to win this game.
Yeah.
And it's in Arrowhead. Let's not forget that. It's one of the harder stadiums to play football in.
Right, but Buffalo went there earlier this year in the regular season. But like,
Kansas City's a very different team right now.
No, agreed.
Yeah. So is the Bills.
Like, I don't use the term God mode
again.
I don't want to use the term God mode again because I feel like I've already used it. If you do, but they're on another level right now, especially in Kansas City.
Now, wouldn't it be weird if we see Green Bay come out and Green Bay looks all rusty and clunky? And everybody's like, oh, whoa, this isn't Green Bay I thought I was going to see. I might have to switch over to the Bucks going against Kansas City again. Yeah.
I mean, it could certainly happen.
This is the telltale week. I would say, a lot of people go, oh, after the two championships. I go, no, this is the telltale where I can usually tell who's taking it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
If Kansas City obliterates the Bills, Kansas City's going all the way. Nothing's going to stop them. If Green Bay obliterates the 49ers and Tampa obliterates LA, not goes toe-to-toe to like the final end. But if Tampa does blow them away, I think I'm going to go for Tampa over Green Bay. If Tampa looks like they barely pull out a win, or obviously if they lose, it doesn't matter. But I can't see LA beating Green Bay. Can't see it.
And it's funny. This is we have a couple of rematches this week. The Rams and the Buccaneers from earlier in the season, and the Chiefs and the Bills from earlier this season.
Yeah, and the Bucs won their game.
And you're actually I think the Rams beat the Bucs head to head.
Are you sure? Let me look.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
And so, and it's funny because if it goes the way you predicted, both the teams that lost the regular season matchup will have won the playoff matchup. And that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would, let's see. We're scheduled. There we go.
I want to say it was early in the season, maybe week 4 or 5.
You are right. Oh, it's a close game.
Yeah.
All right. Huh, that's weird. I don't know why I don't remember that game. It's like I must have missed the game or something. I do not remember that game at all. Weird. Anyways. Well, that's our picks, folks.
Yeah. All right. Everybody, have a great night. We'll be back here to break down the conference championships next week. And Jay, anything to add before we get out of here?
No, not really. If I'm going to say anything, it's going to be my bitterness about my Cowboys. I don't want to go on a rant. Don't get me started. Don't give me room.
I just want to ask you
don't give me room.
I want to ask you about that girl who they showed on camera. One of them freaking crying, sobbing, full. I just started cracking up.
I was a total freaking opposite. I was like, "There's no crying for me." I'm like, "Take your ass home. You didn't show up. Go home."
All right, everybody, have a great night and happy football.
Laters.